Hello, welcome to Sociology 3312 Statistics. My name is Richard Smalley, and this video is to kind of help you get acclimated and kind of guide you on what we need to do throughout the course. And I'm using Blackboard for the last semester that you can actually use Blackboard. I'm sorry if that's an inconvenience if the rest of your classes are in Canvas, but I wasn't quite ready to make the conversion for this semester because I needed to make a lot of changes. So anyway, but it is here in Blackboard, and that's where it'll stay. So let's start over here. We'll look at the syllabus. Everything else will be in course content. Just kind of hit the highlights here. You know, most of this you can read. You won't need a textbook. I have notes and an old PDF file of a book. Calculator. You'll see as you go through the notes, you can use Excel pretty much most of this class. There might be some things the calculator's better, but the good news is you can use either or technology. You might decide, hey, this is a lot better with Excel, or this thing I like better with a calculator. You'll be able to use it both. Now I'm going to put a link in here in the announcements to how to get what's called a virtual graphing calculator to put on your computer. And I guess you can, I don't know, figure out something on downloading it to a phone. I'm sure that can be done too. There might be an app or something, but you can figure out all that yourself. But you don't have to go buy a physical calculator is all I'm getting at. You can either do something to a computer or something to the phone. And Microsoft Excel, you're going to need access to that, which I think all students have a Microsoft 365 free account, as far as I know. I hope I'm not wrong with that. So that should not be a problem. And all right, now I'm not going to waste your time by reading all this stuff. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's just talk about how we get the grade in this course. Obviously, check Blackboard, regularly for announcements I may make, or I think Blackboard has some sort of way that students can choose to a notification thing that will pop up on your phone or whatever whenever a Blackboard. I might be your only Blackboard instructor this semester since I haven't quite evolved, which I'll have to do in the spring because this will be the end of Blackboard. This was last semester where you could use either Canvas or Blackboard. Alrighty, so we're going to have 3 exams and an Excel assignment. Excel assignment, talk about a little later in the semester. It's not going to be due to the very end. Now we have these 3 exams, which I'll talk more about when I get back into the course content. Everything's equally weighted, and there's an optional final exam. Optional is the key word here. Now, one thing to keep in mind, I see this Excel assignment, that's mandatory. The optional final exam cannot replace the Excel assignment. That's very important to realize. What it can do is replace one of the 3 exams, either by lowest score, or you just didn't submit the work, whatever the case may be. That's just totally, you can't hurt your grade. Let's say if your exam scores were 90, 90, and 60, if you took that final exam and you made better than 60, it would be replaced. If you made worse than 60, nothing would happen. Your grades would stay the same. So it can only help you, it cannot hurt you. But you can kind of see where you stand by then, if you need to do it or not, if you want to do it or not. So, all right, talk more about the exams here in a little bit. So, okay, I don't think there's anything from the syllabus that I need to clarify other than the grading format and mentioning that the Excel assignment is mandatory, because sometimes people get confused by that. They don't do the assignment or they don't put any effort into it thinking it's not going to count, but it counts the same as a test. And I will remind you of that, when I publish its availability later on, that okay, this counts, it's important. It looks like I mentioned right up here about the phone app, I think, that lets you know about Blackboard announcements. I don't expect to have a lot of things, but still, I'm not going to be making announcements all the time, but still wouldn't hurt. That way it won't be too annoying if you have the app. Now I'm going to be bombarding you all the time with stuff. So if I do make an announcement, it's probably important. Okay. All right, because we don't have, obviously being an online class, we don't have issues about, hey, don't come to class tonight because it's raining and it's for campus floods or anything like that. So, all right, so just kind of read through this, and there's just a bunch of sort of mandatory stuff that we have to include on there, which is wonderful. There's nothing in there that I think that has to be worried about here. No, it's going to affect the direct operation of our class or anything, but if you feel like you want to look through that, you go right ahead. That's your right. This will be sitting in there the entire semester, the syllabus. So it's over here in the syllabus, and everything else will be under course content. I know there's an exams folder over here, but I did not put anything in the exams folder. The exams are going to be in the course content. So course content, that's where the show is here. Now, I've got a calendar. And this, you don't have to, feel like this is just sort of a general guideline. You can work a little bit ahead if you need to. Now, I want to talk about the exams for a minute. If you get the exams, you're gonna have the questions in advance, take home, whatever, and not proctored or anything like that. This just shows when you're able to submit your answers. But if you're working ahead and you want to get the exam done, you can just hold on to your paperwork, and you could even start studying ahead if that works out best. You might be thinking, well, I got some time, let me get a little bit ahead in this course. So you can always do that. This just means when you're allowed to submit your answers. So, but you could still work ahead of this pace a little bit. So these have all the dates for the assignments. It doesn't have the Excel, excuse me. I'll make that as its own announcement. That will be also right at the end of the semester, though, I can tell you that. So I don't have the exact dates just yet, because I'm actually revising a few things on it as we go. But it'll be end of the semester, though. I can tell you for sure. And I won't, publish it like a week before the semester's over. We'll have it, open well before the halfway mark of the semester. A lot of the questions on the Excel assignment are the last third of the course anyway. So, but you could still do some of it. You could do a little bit ahead of time if you wanted to. So, okay, so this calendar is just a guideline. The only thing that's really by date here is these exam dates when you submit the work. Okay. So let me go to the exams right now while we're talking about that. Now here's a folder where these are sample practice problems. If you want to do them, you can. If you don't want to do them, here's one where it's where it gives you the problems, and here's one where I think the problems have an answer key at the end, but solutions means that it shows me putting working them out or whatever. So I'll just click on this one, for example. So you could, some of these don't have much work there to show, but yeah, so you see, it's got me. So you could try to do a problem, you couldn't get the answer, or let me see how he did it there, and there it save you a little time. Of course, you can still obviously contact me and ask me questions, but okay. So those are there. And especially, that way, if there's a question on the exam that's similar to one of those, you could look at it and go, okay, I did this, got this right. That might make you feel better about, your question on the exam if you relate it to the sample exam. Okay, so that's what I would strongly consider doing. So that's all available. I don't have, let's see. Yeah, I don't have one for the optional final, because the optional final is just going to be a collective summary of the first three exams. So there really wouldn't be anything different, other than what's on those first three exams. So that's why we don't need a separate review for that. All right. Okay, let's go over here. And here's where this video is going to be posted. I have it closed right now because obviously I don't want the old video there to be posted. I want this new one once I get it processed. What time is it? It's about 11:30 p.m. Sunday night, so it'll take a little while to process. Not too long, and then I'll post it up in there. So if you're already asleep and you wake up tomorrow, it should be there. Okay, what do we have here? We have lecture notes. Now that calendar shows you the content of what's each material, kind of color coded. I'll go back to that, but so does lecture notes. Everything's organized, so you see how everything, the green sections, and this exam 1 is green, whatever these orange ones are, orange, purple sections, purple, and like I said earlier, optional finals for everything. So they're kind of color coded there. So there's no, in other words, there's no mystery what's on each exam. I got, but here's another way you can verify it. Lecture notes. So you see how all of the exams are ordered by lecture notes. So that probably means the exam 1 notes will then contain everything that's on exam 1. And that's exactly what's going on. Just like the calendar. So there's no surprise here. I think I've got it pretty well organized. Last thing I want to do is try to confuse students by what's going to be on what. I think this is, not to gloat or anything, but I think it's pretty well organized. So exam 1, exam 2, exam 3. Beautiful. So those are lecture notes. Now, lecture videos, once again, by each exam. Now, one thing I want to mention about the lecture videos is I'm using videos that I do for a similar course that I teach at Lone Star College, which is my first full-time job where I work part-time for UHD. Now these videos, they're good and everything. They'll go kind of match the notes and go right to the notes. However, at the end, you will see me working some problems from the My Math Lab software. That was a requirement for that particular class. It is not a requirement for your class. However, I was going to edit the videos and remove those, and then I decided, well, you know what? It would not hurt for the students in SOS 3312 just to see me working out those problems and getting the right answer. Even though you're not having to do that, I think it's a benefit to your learning. So you can choose what to do. I'd at least watch it once or twice and see if you find it helpful. So don't be, you see me get to those videos and he didn't say anything about My Math Lab or anything like that. You are not responsible for that, but it's showing me working problems in the software and then verifying that I got the right answer and all that good stuff. So I would highly recommend watching them with no pressure, though. I just want to make that perfectly clear. So if I remember, I may put that in a written announcement also in case you forget that I said this in the video. So yeah, so I think that will help your learning, I think. So I'm glad I decided to leave them there and not edit them out. I was worried about people being nervous about seeing that, but hopefully I clarified it now where you don't have to worry about it. So the exam 1 lecture videos by 1, 2, and 3. So that's going to be your primary learning tool, I guess. Okay, I showed down. Let me explain how the exams work. So it's the exam in the sense that you're actually they're all 20 questions, I believe. This is the PDF file for the questions. So here you go. You have access to those right now. So you go through there, you obviously got to wait till you cover all the sections. You go through there and work these out. And then you hold on to your answers. Like I said, if you work a little bit ahead, that's good. It never hurts to work ahead. Save your answers. Save the sheet with the answers. You don't have to submit any work or anything. You'll just be submitting the answers. But see, notice you don't see this. You'll enter the actual answers here where it says SOS 12, exam 1, exam 2, exam 3. You enter your answers there, and you see, it may not probably show you this, but those dates I showed you on the calendar, this will light up. That will light up soon as September 28th gets here. And then you have I believe it was September 28th through October 1st. But keep in mind, all you're doing is going through there and you're just entering your answers. Now, one thing you have to watch for, so do not open that up. Do not open it until you're ready to submit all of your answers. You can't go in there, enter a few, come back later, and no, that's it. You open it once, enter all your answers. Do not open it until then. But if you have the answers already done, just keep it, keep a hold of your work, the answers to submit when it comes time. But this will not light up until the date it becomes available, which you can always see those on the calendar. That will light up. You go in there. I didn't put a password on them or anything, but go in there, open it up, go through there real carefully. Now, a couple things to watch for. I don't do this on purpose, but it just sometimes it does this. It may scramble the questions, but it can't change the numbers. Nothing's changing. The questions are the same. The numbers are the same. It may change the order of the questions. It may change the order of the answers. So as long as I think I put like a 60-minute time limit to enter your answers. It shouldn't take you more than go slow, and now 10 minutes would be going slow probably, but you want to be careful. But don't panic when you don't see them in the exact same order. They will be the same questions. They will have possibly the same answers. For example, let's say there's a problem where you worked it out and 1.2 is the correct answer and it was B on the PDF file. It was answer B. Well, on the answer, when you look at the exam, maybe answer D says 1.2 instead of B. You pick 1.2 if you know that's the correct answer, regardless of what letter it was on the PDF file. That's okay. So that's why you don't want to just blindly go through this going real quickly, going, oh, A, B, B, C, D, D, B, C, without reading each question carefully. So just go through there carefully, and you'll be fine. Mark the answers, then you'll hit submit, and then it should tell you what your score is. And that's all you have to do. You don't have to submit any paperwork or anything like that, but obviously, in case you want to hang on to it and ask me a question about it or something, that's fine. I wouldn't necessarily throw it away, but there's nowhere till after the course is over or whatever. But there's nothing you have to submit or upload or no. You're just working the PDF file, getting the answers, and then bubbling in those answers. Obviously, I mentioned about the order possibilities. Bubbling those answers, submit, that is it. That's really what you're also going to do for the Excel assignment when that comes up. Same thing. You're going to answer stuff on a PDF file, and you're going to bubble your answers. Yes, you're going to use Excel to help you get those answers. So people often wonder, do I have to submit what I did in Excel? No. You use Excel to get the answers, but once again, just like this, you are just submitting the actual answers that came from your work in Excel. Okay. In my business stats class, they have an Excel assignment also, and they always worry about, do I have to turn this in? No, you do not. Submitting the answers at it. So there's the PDF file for the optional final. That's only if you want to take it. So there's how the exams work. So you have the questions in advance, and you go from there. So just please send me a message, Blackboard, email, or whatever. If you have any questions. I hope I made that clear, but it's still, nothing wrong if you have a question. Okay, let's go back to course content. We kind of got everything in. Oh, a couple more things maybe. Okay, so this is hidden right now. The Excel assignment, that is hidden. When I have everything ready, I will open that up. And this is what I was talking about, the book. This is a PDF file of a real old book, and that you can also use to study in addition to my notes. So there, I'm not going to go through all the pages, but there it is. So the chapters will match our book, my notes. So we have this. Oh, let's see, where are we here? I think there's some way you click on the index, you can go straight to the section, I think, or yeah. So 2.3, that's one section we're going to do, measures of central tendency. So that way, if you need, you want to look at a book type thing to back up notes, that's, whatever helps, you learn the best. I'm all for whatever, if you never looked at this book, I mean, that's not going to be the end of the world either. It's not going to hurt my feelings or anything, but But some people feel more comfortable if they have a book to refer to, so there you go. Now this is hidden also. I needed this the practice problems, and this is nothing. That's why it's called practice. It's not an assignment. It's just, once again, some extra practice if you need it to see if you could also just use the exam reviews. You don't have to use all this stuff, but it's just another method for you to, if you wanted to try problems from the book to see if you're getting them right. That's, yeah, the back of the book somewhere would have an answer key, I believe, for those sections. And so strictly optional, but it's there, and you could always ask me about them if you wanted to. That's fine. So I'm just trying to provide as many avenues to help you learn the material. And so there you go. That's there to use if you need it. Now this will not come up. We see me doing the lectures later. You'll see me refer to using the 2 folders in these files, but that's not till like the 3rd part of the course. It might come up in the 2nd part of the course. Let me double check something. Yes, these are both definitely for exam 3 material. So you'll see when we do confidence intervals, this is some of the stuff you'll see me do in the notes. It's coming from, hey, click on it and then it'll be from working. Oh, there's different tabs down here, which you'll see me use all those in the notes. But okay, and then once you open them up, I guess you could possibly, if you want to save them to your desktop without having to go back in there and open, it's up to you. You don't have to. Where you can just bring the file right up from your desktop instead of going in there every time. That's your call. Same thing with this one. You do what's best for you, but those will be sitting there the entire semester. And let's go back to see if there's anything else in that content. Oh, some charts and tables we may use. I'm kind of using those less now. It's more technology based than it was before. So those charts and tables might come up, but if you see me use any kind of chart or anything, reference that. Here's where the folder tab is for it. And that's basically it. So like I said, the only thing that's in this, I could have put the exams over here, but I didn't. The only thing over there is the syllabus and then course content. So I'll have to see how Canvas works next semester, or this semester, get ready for next semester, and maybe I'll set it up differently once I learn it for Canvas, but I didn't feel like worrying about it for only one more semester of Blackboard. I'm completely confident you'll have no trouble finding this right here under course content. So, all right, I believe that takes care of everything. So send me any messages if you have any questions, and I think we're going to have a delightful semester here in fall of 2023.